Welcome to June 2023. We have a universal month number 4. Now, just as I started to record this video, and I think there's a deer right in front of the house that I've been watching for a little while. It's so beautiful. So I'm in this beautiful setting right now. It's temporary, but I'll be here for a while. This is a little bit of my backdrop, and then you'll see outside as well. It's absolutely stunning. So I'll be outside recording videos, also enjoying the beautiful weather here and the incredible environment. But we have here now in June, welcoming a universal month number 4, but it's a 13-4. And 13 is a karmic debt number. Do not fear the karmic debt numbers, especially when it's a universal month number. It doesn't really hold a lot of weight on ourselves individually. I would look for sure at your personal month number. You can go onto Google, do a quick search, look for personal month number, and you'll have to type in a couple numbers pertaining to your birth date. But it will give you the month number that you are going to be experiencing for yourself. And I find those are the most powerful for myself individually, because we go through our own timelines and our own experiences. So your own personal number will have the most weight on what you're going to experience in this month or in each month. So definitely keep an eye on your personal month number. I usually do look at it ahead of time so I understand what's coming up, what's the theme, for example, what are the advantages that I could really grab onto for furthering growth or furthering career or personal development, spiritual development, and also the challenges that come with it. Because of course, everything has a shadow side, doesn't it? So we do need to pay attention to the gifts and the opportunities, as well as some of the things that we may need to work on or just be aware of. Just awareness, right? And that's the big thing, is just being aware of, okay, maybe this is something I need to work on, or maybe it's something that might be coming my way that I need to pay attention to. And that's all it is, So our challenges and the difficulties that we go through is basically what we label it here in our mind, and how we tend to perceive it and how we tend to manage it within ourselves, right? So that's always number 1. But as I mentioned, June is a universal month number 4, and I haven't gotten to my blog yet because I've been traveling and moving, and I'm finally getting settled. So I'll be working on it today, and I will upload it on the community board here in YouTube. But I'll go over what I feel is going to happen first. I haven't done a deep dive research into the month yet, but I have a good feeling of what is coming up based on the lunar cycles, of course, as I like to tend to focus on that, and then the numerology aspect of the month. So 13, as I mentioned, is a karmic debt number, equals 4. So the 1 and the 3 equals a 4. And the 13 is the main number, then the root will equal the 4. So the 13 means that we may have to work a little bit extra harder for our reward. We may have to be extra focused, but it's not a bad thing. I actually have 13 in my high level chart, in my numerology chart, and it means that if you have it in your chart, if you have it as a birthday or in your top level chart, if you've had your numerology chart done, it means that you may have to push a little bit harder. You may have to work a bit harder for your results. Focus is essential. Focus and dedication and structure will really help overcome this karmic debt number. Like I said, you may not even feel it this month. It all depends on your own personal journey, but it's just great to be aware of, because most like everything, right? If we put our effort towards something, if we dedicate, if we are determined, then we are going to get our reward. And usually that hard effort gives us the greatest reward, because it's not just the work that we're doing or that we're putting into what we want done. It's the effort and it's the learning within ourselves that we get to experience through that hard work. And when we go through the hard work, when we're dedicated, when we persevere, when we're loyal, then I feel that we gain more. We gain more through that discipline and through the action of the hard work and the loyalty to our results and to ourselves and into what we want to basically create for our long term. So given everything that's happened already in May, especially, that was a big month with the retrograde beginning of the month, the full moon in Scorpio eclipse, the lunar eclipse that we had. For me, and just talking to a lot of other people as well, I feel that was a really important time. That was a very big shift within ourselves that we could have opened up to, or we may have experienced. This month coming into 4 is offering us the structure and the foundation to build that foundation of change, right? So anything that you have gone through in May, any big changes, any big realizations, even if it was really uncomfortable, even if it was very subtle. And I actually do want to point out, pay attention to the subtleties the most. And when we do this work, it's easy. We come from a paradigm, or we come from a way of living where it's easy to look at the big things, or we might want the big changes, or we might want to witness the big results in order to understand what's happening. But I've found that the subtleties in our feelings, in our realizations, in our mind, in our body, in what's happening within our life, the subtleties gives us the biggest clues as to what is happening with us, the change that we might be going through, the realizations, the shifts with consciousness. Those are the parts of yourselves, or the moments within yourself, that you do want to pay attention to. And they will offer a lot of insight. And when you go deeper into the subtleties, then you get to connect more with yourself, right? And so we come from this timeline where we have a lot of distractions, or society, however you want to say it, we have a lot of distractions, we have a lot of noise, we are used to performing, we're used to career, we're used to schedule, and so on and so forth. So we're coming into this different way of living, into a different experience within ourselves. And the more connected that we can be with ourselves, our senses, the subtleties, the greater awareness we have, and the greater connection we have with ourselves and with the changes of our life. Right? So it's really important to pay attention to those subtleties, even if you might be thinking, well, nothing really changed. No, definitely something changed. I will guarantee that. But even if it was very subtle, though, that's very important. Where was your mindset at? What maybe showed up for you that may have changed a little bit of your reality, or a shift in consciousness or awareness, like anything, your body, maybe even more of a connection with your body, maybe closure from something from the past. It's all going to play out for a while now, right? So it's really important to pay attention to what that could have been. But this month offers the ability to anchor in, to form the foundation of the change that you want. Now, don't really worry about the karmic debt number. If it is pertaining to how you are feeling, then definitely claim it. But it is there as an option. I wouldn't really weigh too heavily on, I have to put too much work in, or I'm going to have to put more work than usual into what I want, or what I am hoping for. Don't really worry about that, and try not to look at it that way. Just focus on what you want. What do you need to do right now, or what can you do to build your foundation, to anchor yourself into this next chapter, or into something that you're wanting to change, or investing into the future of your desires. So the 4 is a very stable number. And you can see the way it's written. It's very anchored in. It's also very balanced with the 4 on the top portion of the 4, and then the line that drops all the way down to ground it. It has a lot of this stability and ability to anchor in. It's very loyal. It is very stable. It's very dedicated, and it is very, I would say, very, I almost want to say organized. It's almost this archetype of a very strong and diligent and loyal, productive worker, like someone who likes to get things done, likes organization, likes structure. So it's really great for work. It could be great for matters of the home. We have Cancer coming in later portion of the month. So there might be structure around the home. There might be stability around the home, or wanting to achieve that. With Gemini season for the majority of the month, we still have a lot of moving energy, mutable energy of Gemini. So there could be a lot of change coming in, but the 4 is going to stabilize it. So if there has been any change, then this month things are going to become a little bit more practical. And it's a really great time to get things done, to work, to focus on your strategy, on your structuring your business maybe, or maybe even just putting pen to paper and just getting serious about what you can accomplish or what you want to dedicate your time towards. So this is a really great month for building that strong foundation and really dedicating your time and effort to what you want to create for your long term. All right, so I did mention Gemini season for the majority. Then we have Cancer, which I'll go into separately with the moon cycles. But we do have the full moon in Sagittarius on the 3rd or 4th, depending on where you are in the world. My original video that I put out for the full moon in Sagittarius, I did say the 4th, but it depends on where you are in the world. I should have checked that, and I apologize for the miscommunication, I should say. It is on the 3rd or the 4th, depending on where you are in the world. But this full moon is a progression from the full moon that we had in Scorpio on the 5th. This is a really important moon that's going to set us up for something new. Okay, so full moons, it's very much a time of releasing, of change, of closure, of emotions or realizations or subconscious patterns or anything within the subconscious to come to the surface. So it is a great time to release anything that might be getting in your way of fully opening up and trusting the process and being open for adventure and learning and expansion. All right, so that is going to be a very important full moon. And if you didn't catch my full moon video, I'll leave a link here. You can check it out. What else do we have? We have the new moon in Gemini that's going to start just before Cancer season. It's going to be starting in the later portion of the month. I will do a separate video on that, of course, when we get closer to it. But that new moon is going to offer a time to set new intentions around communication, around learning, around education, even social connections, maybe expanding our social networks. So if you didn't catch one of my other videos, I did mention that the lunar cycle have slightly changed. Before they were lining up, or the new moons were lining up with the sun being in a specific zodiac. So we were starting a zodiac season with that same new moon. So for example, the new moon would usually be with the sun coming into Gemini. So it would start, the new moon in Gemini would start Gemini season. It would be around that same time. But now it's flipped a little bit. So now we are ending the zodiac season with its new moon and starting the sun of a new zodiac just before that new moon. So I hope that made sense. But anyway, I'll be talking about it a lot here, so don't worry about it. I will be recording a separate video on the new moon in Gemini, and I just did the one in Sagittarius, so make sure to check that out as well. All right, so with that, we have this energy I feel is going to be a bit more grounded, not as chaotic as last month. We did have Mercury in retrograde, we had that eclipse season, that was all craziness. We all are on our own path though. So when I give these forecasts, it's based on what I see, what I read, what I feel, basically also what I'm gauging from other people. But I do feel intuitively that this month is going to offer us a really great time to build a supportive foundation for our future. So think of anything that you want to invest into, if it's investing into learning, if it is investing into strategizing, good old spreadsheets that we love, anything that will set the foundation up for success. All right, because remember next month, how the numbers work is in order. So next month is going to be a month of 5, and 5s are all about change. So prepare for change. And that's what the full moon in Sagittarius is also offering us, is setting us up to prepare ourselves on a deeper level for change, for new opportunity, for growth, for expansion, right? So what can you let go of? Is there a lack of trust? Is there fear? Is there worry? Is there doubt? Is there anger? Is there resentment? Is there anything that is holding you back from fully stepping into the unknown, stepping into change, being adaptable, being mutable, being ready for something new, right? And we do have Cancer season that's going to be starting off a later portion of the month, which is cardinal energy, right? So that could be a nice time too of being ready for something new. And it might have to be pertaining to maybe family, relationships, love, and matters of the heart, your home, maybe even a new home on the horizon or something of that nature. So we'll go into it further when we get into that month, but I'll just give you a little bit of heads up as what's coming up and what to prepare for on a deep level and maybe within yourself, so you can set that foundation. You can start working on a plan. You can start being aware of anything that might need to be released so that you can prepare for this new journey that lies ahead. So I'm wishing you all the best during this month of June, and I'll be seeing you again very soon. Take care.